Hello. I don't know if this is on yet or not. Let me know if anybody can hear me and see me. I'm having again trouble. It seems like with my connection. I must have an old computer or something, old hardware, because it tells me that the connection is really unstable. But we'll give it a shot here for a few minutes and see what happens. Um, so I see, well, my chat box says a few people are here. Cindy Brown, hello. Raphael, okay. Looking and sounding great. Wonderful. Thank you, Scotty. 521. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, we are here. Um, we'll let a few people come on in, pull up a chair, grab a coffee, make yourself comfortable. I think we'll just wait a couple minutes and see a few more people arrive. And then I have a little bit of a topic here that I put in the description, aim small and stay now. I want to talk about that for a few minutes, but mainly just to jump right into the chat and questions or whatnot. We'll see what's going on there. So who we got? Eva from Texas, hello. Mariposa from Florida. Good bottle collector, yo. All right, my nephew, bottle collector. How you doing, Riker? Scotty, Steven, I saw you. Cool. Look, yeah, we got a crowd forming, so that's good. I think, yeah, last time we had what did I do? About a week and a half ago, I did another one of these, and or maybe 2 weeks ago, and I think I ran too long or whatever. But then just the connection, I got lost, and um, it kept dropping, and I was talking, and I thought I wasn't being heard, and then people say, "Hey, we can hear you," and it got a little crazy there at the end. So probably cut this one off at an hour this time. Gay Praetor, hello from Wyoming. How you doing? I think I'm just gonna jump in and we'll start and see who else arrives. I'm kind of modeling my chat approach to the same as like used. Was it 6 Miles to Supper? Kayla at 6 Miles to Supper uses the approach where she talks a little bit about a subject and then goes into the chat. And I kind of thought that worked. So I've been following that same model. Some people just boom right in and start chatting. They've got like all kinds of questions, but I let people kind of get their coffee and settle down a little bit. Hey, Tall Happy Colors, good to see you. James from Florida. Good, good. The room's loading up. Okay, well, it's good. Tall Happy Colors joined us. I'm glad to see her here because I wanted to start right off talking about her channel because my concept here, aim small and stay in the now, it's just something I've been thinking about. Some current things that I've been working on and exploring, and they're kind of relating back to my weight loss journey and things I did that worked, visualizations that I did that I wanted to pass along because I think it may be helpful. And I wanted to tie that together. And what it is, it started a few weeks ago. I was referenced a talk from Tall Happy Colors. She has, let me tell, I want to give a shout out. Her channel, she's got a YouTube channel, and it's very unique. I watch it all the time. She's a very, I would say, a creative type individual. She's, I think, a former vegan. I don't know how long she was vegan. Now she's a carnivore, and that's, I think, the original connection I made to her channel. And and she'll just is not a cookie cutter type YouTube channel. She'll go on. She's on nutrition and nature and emotional healing and just whatever. She kind of talks just real freely into the camera and goes on what I call like she weaves a, what do I call it, like a word tapestry, and they're quite interesting. You never know quite what to expect. And she also turns up a lot of links to interesting topics. Um, and it was a few weeks ago, one of these interesting topics that she linked to, another interesting site, was somebody I'd never heard of. It was a talk by a fellow named Eckhart Tolle, and maybe you people have heard of him. I hadn't. He was totally new to me. And this Mr. Tolle, he's kind of a meditational guy, kind of like I call him, I want to like a swami, like a, he talks very low and he's and quietly, but he's very interesting. He's a thinker, a meditative type person, and his talk that I first saw, it was on this concept of being in the now. Okay, he calls it either being in the now or being in the present, being present, and it's just I was fascinated by the talk. It's about being, just aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you and being focused on the present. Because as he says it, after all, the future and the past are just in your mind, and you can only access them, your mind, from the present. So, yeah, that kind of made sense to me. Probably makes sense to anybody when you think about it. But um, and I started thinking more about that, as a way of life and in general, focusing on the living, the present, what's around you, being aware of your surroundings. And then I started linking it to my weight loss journey and the fact that you can affect your future only through the present. And the future, let's say you want to lose weight. Okay, you've got to operate within the present to do that. Okay, again, common sense. This is no big secret. But I started thinking about how a lot of times we get messed up by, looking at the big picture, looking at the huge mountain we have to climb. Like in my case, I had a huge mountain, and if I would have just focused on the mountain, I never would have got there. But my approach was kind of like to put on blinders, and I call, like this, just focus on a one day. That was kind of always in my mind. Just have a good day. It was kind of like this. Two-step approach. Step one, have one good day. Step two, repeat step one. It was just like, just one day, one day, one day, one day. So I thought I was doing something just incremental. And when I look back on it now, really what I was doing, I was sort of staying in the now. If you look at it in the sense that in the now means one day. I mean, actually, it's less than that. It's more immediate, but okay, it's a pretty small unit of time, being in the now, looking at it as one day. But that was my approach. Have one good day, have another good day, and just follow your plan for one day. And as I've said before, my plan at the time was just eat one meal a day, and eat good food. Don't eat junk food. Just eat a good, fresh selection of food. Eat to satiety, and just eat once a day. So that was my plan. Just repeat that one day, and then do it the next day, the next day. So I was one meal takes place within an hour. So really, I had to be present within that hour and think about, and I used to do that. I used to think about how full I was feeling, the food I was eating. I was listening to my body. I didn't realize at the time, but now I think back, I was sort of practicing being in the now, being present. And the other thing I did that sort of ties into this, I wanted to have a visualization of my success, a daily success. And I thought I would share this because a lot of people, one place where we look for the daily affirmation is on the scale. And as anybody knows, the scale is not totally reliable for your daily affirmation. If you weigh yourself a lot like I do, I still to this day weigh every day. And I know it goes up and it goes down. But when you're trying to lose weight and you're really trying your hardest, sometimes the scale's your friend and it tells you a lot of good news, but darn it, other days it doesn't move at all. And then some days it goes up, and you just got to ride that out. But one thing I did, and I figured this out, and this is really where I'm going with all this, I wanted to share it, is that, after I was doing my plan and it was working, I was having some success tracking my weight in Excel spreadsheet. Then I realized, okay, I did some calculations, and I said, all right, it looks like if I do my plan properly, I'm going to lose, I think the average I came up with was a quarter pound per day. Not a quarter pounder, a quarter pound per day. And so, that may or may not show up on the scale. That's a narrow, that's a narrow resolution, and scales aren't going to pick up a quarter pound. It can fluctuate all over. But in my mind, I wanted to recognize that quarter pound every day. If I had a good day, I wanted to kind of visualize that it was a good day, and I wanted to see that quarter pound, not quarter pounder. I didn't want to see a hamburger. I wanted to see the quarter pound. And what I came up with is I looked in my hand, and I tried to visualize what would a quarter pound of fat look like in my hand. And I came up with, like, be a little blob of fat, maybe be about the size of a golf ball or a tennis ball. I don't know. It's some little blob of fat. And I visualized it in my hand. And I realized, okay, if I do this, if I have this every day, what's it going to take to get to my goal? And then the second part of this visualization was, I visioned in front of me, for whatever reason, I came up with like a wine barrel, like a half of a wine barrel, empty. And I thought each day, I've got to fill that up with fat, okay? So each day, at the end of the day, every day when I remembered, I mean, I didn't remember every day, but what I would do, I would imagine that blob of quarter pound of fat, and I would imagine myself just firing it into the barrel, with a lot of force, okay? So it gave me like a physical release and a mental release, so I throw it into the barrel. And the first day, okay, is obviously one little blob. It's not too much. But then, like I said, it was incremental. I would do it the next day, another one, and another one, and another one. And then I would think, like, okay, it's been a week. So I tried to picture, what did that barrel look like after a week? And what I saw was, okay, there's maybe a little mound there in the center building up, a little mound of fat, 7 times a quarter, 3.5 pounds or 3 pounds. And then keep doing it day after day after day. And what does it look like after a month of that? I would imagine, okay, maybe the bottom of the barrel's got like a full layer in it, and so I did that. This is, to me, I never shared this before with really, but I imagined myself filling this barrel with these little blobs of fat. And what I think now, thinking about visualization, it helped me realize my goal, I believe, because I truly believe, what you visualize, you make happen, and it helps your body make it happen, because you're giving instructions, and it's a self-affirmation. Forget about, okay, the scale. Don't forget about the scale. I like to weigh myself, but I was affirming every day that barrel is slightly filling up, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I wasn't climbing a mountain. I was just doing one good day and one little blob of fat per day. This is what I told myself. So anyway, I never really, tried to ascertain how important that was to the whole process, but maybe it was important. Maybe it was one of the bigger aspects to sustain, because always, there would enter into the equation some, self-doubts, and the scale would say, oh, I'm sort of paused. But, mentally, my realization was that I wasn't paused. I was continuing to grow. So I think, visualize what you want, some container, or you can do my way, but some way break it down, narrow the focus to having one good day, and have some way to affirm it to yourself that it was a good day. And then, like I said, stay in the present. And when you do that, the future takes care of itself, and so does the past. You actually fix both the future and the past by just fixing the present. Anyway, that's kind of I'll leave it at that because I'm getting kind of metaphysical now. But that's what I wanted to share that just because that's what I've been thinking about lately, things like that, in exploring, different aspects of a journey. How can I go forward and just enjoy life more? And I'm kind of on that. So I think I'll just kind of leave it at that. If you guys got questions on that, let me know. If you got any questions, that's what I'm here for. This is Q&A. So if you have some Q's, I'll try to put it with an A, and or if you just want to chat. This worked out well last time. We just got on a roll. So I'll see. Maybe I lost the signal, or maybe not. If you're still hearing me, it looks like it's still fairly green. So where did I leave off? Bottle collector, hello, Praetor. Spy 21's from Wales. I like that, having an international cast. I got Wales, and I think I have now Germany at least represented. I was expecting hopefully somebody. I have one fan from South Africa. I hope she can arrive because that would be kind of cool. Lloyd Martin. Hi, Jim. I'm down 46 pounds, feeling great, from Nova Scotia, Canada. Awesome, Lloyd. You're down 46 pounds. Just curious, what length of time and what are you doing for that? I mean, that is wonderful. I mean, that's a huge amount. I don't know how much further do you have to go, but congratulations for you, sir. Hello, Carrie from Florida. Good to see you. Lloyd, John Boston, great job with the live broadcast. Thank you, John. I hope it's still on. I hope I see some red blinking lights sometimes when I look at this thing. I'm not going to look at it because last time I was concerned and I thought I wasn't broadcasting, and everybody said they can still hear me. So OMAD Dad is another great channel for fresh, honest advice. Yeah, OMAD Dad. Yeah, I think I do watch that guy, OMAD Dad. I have checked him out, and that is another good site. We got OMAD Mad, we got OMAD Revolution. There's OMAD Man, who's Steven, who's a wild piano playing dude that does a daily broadcast. Doll started February 23rd. You started on my birthday, and you're down 8 pounds. That is a lot in a short period of time. Congratulations. That is a lot. And again, keep up the good work. I don't know how far to go, but man, you're doing wonderful. It is a lot. I don't know how you say it. I say it Hilder too, or hello from Texas. And Kathy Johnson. Okay, this is my nephew checked in, and now my niece checked in. You see there, Kathy, Uncle Jim, and I wanted to introduce these two. If anybody has seen my channel video, I've got a montage of photos in there from the beginning to where I am now, and numerous times I take a picture with two young, my niece and my nephew. They were young when I started, when I was overweight, and you see them changing and me changing, a boy and a girl. A girl with long dark hair and a boy with shorter hair. But these are my niece and nephews, and they check in on my podcast too. But they're kind of semi-stars on my channel because they're in a lot of my pictures. So hello, Bergen, good to see you. Kevin, we're not receiving data. It's telling me they're not receiving data, so I don't know if I'm still live or not. Somebody might tell me. I'm not going to worry about it until somebody says the signal went out. But because last time I thought I couldn't be heard, but everybody was still hearing me. So I need an assistant on this. Like somebody really should be. I should have somebody like kind of as a moderator checking my. I've got to hire an assistant. What else we got? I'm still alive. Okay, Tolle. I heard your interview about fasting. I'm working on closing the window. I'm surprised I am not really hungry. First for me with any diet. Been on almost every diet. Well, this is true with the intermittent fasting, and that is one of the big keys. The hunger will go away if you're persistent at it, and you might have to change your diet a little bit too. But if you're eating right, you can go longer periods of time without food. And man, once I started doing that, everything changed. And really, like I've said many times, if you can conquer the hunger, you've got it made, because the hunger is the thing that'll trip us up every time. So yeah, good work there. Blob of a quarter pound of fat. Yeah, that's not a quarter pounder, a quarter pound of fat. That was my daily. I was trying to visualize that coming off each day. The power of now. Yeah, so other people know this guy, Eckhart Tolle. I must live under a mushroom, because I didn't know about this guy, but he's kind of fascinating. He's kind of an unassuming character, a small guy, but he's very funny and self-deprecating, but really has a style that kind of easy to listen to, and not only being generating provocative thoughts or ways of thinking, but funny at the same time. I haven't read that book to power now. I've still been just kind of watching his different videos that are available on YouTube. Kevin Gwynn, Don Imus, the great radio personality, is a recovering alcoholic. He used to say, "I don't have to stop drinking forever. I just have to stop drinking today, in the moment." Exactly. I think it applies, yeah, not only for anything really. Have one good day, then have another good day, have another good day. And it's easy to say, but when you obsess about, let's say if you were doing that and you had one bad day, okay, guess when you can correct that? The following day. You get back on and you do it and you start having a good day, and it's self-correcting. But it's when you it's when you don't have enough positive affirmation, when you start thinking about the huge mountain you got to climb, and you start listening to the negativity on the, as I call it, the bad radio channel, the You Suck FM, from another reference to one of my other videos. Then you throw in the towel, and you don't just give up for one day, you give up for many days, and that's when you go off and you got to restart again. But when you restart, it's just one day, another day, another day, another day, like that. Stay in a moment. Yeah, I like it. What is this? Never half-ass two things while ask one thing. Yeah, I'm not sure, Scotty, what that's reference to. Yeah, John, tracking on Excel, for me, it did help my progress, and I could see it. But this is more for stepping back for the wider view. I would track it daily, but then do an assessment. I would do like a monthly assessment. I would reconfigure and redo my charts, and after a month, kind of see what was going on. For daily, okay, you can't get hung up in the weeds on the daily comings and goings of the scale. I know a lot of people try to look for that, and they look for affirmation on the scale daily. It doesn't work that way. I recommend weighing daily, just to force the habit and just to overcome your fears, because to me, that is a crutch, and you're acknowledging that it's I better not know what my weight is. I'm better off not knowing. And I can't accept that we're better off without information. You're better off overcoming the fear. That's what I say. That's my approach. And by weighing every day and tracking it and recording it, knowing what it is and how it goes up and down, pretty soon you're not afraid of the scale anymore. It's just information. And you can, like I said, once a month, look at it and see what your trends are. But anyway, I'm a fan of having more information rather than less. It's like, what took me so long to treat me right? I actually feel sort of high. Yeah, Doll, that's a good observation. I asked myself many times, why, what took me so long to do this? Why didn't I do this 20 years ago? So Gabe Praetor, we get Germany, Wales, Nova Scotia, we global, even Texas. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So maybe South Africa didn't check in yet, but maybe there's still time. Any advice on insomnia on OMAD? You know, I never really had insomnia on OMAD. I mean, unless sometimes I get a little too carried away with the coffee later in the day, and I'd have trouble going to sleep. But normally I cut off the coffee at noon. That's about it. I never did really have the insomnia issue. I would just say, you know, I don't know. It could be a number of things. You might want to look at your diet, or you might want to just. I mean, a lot of people recommend turning off the devices, you know, an hour or so before you're, you know, if you're one of the people, kind of like me, I've got screens on, you know, either the small screen, the large screen, or whatever, right up until it's time for bed. I click them off. Fortunately, I'm able to fall asleep normally within 15 minutes. I'm asleep, but I'm tired. But I've also I work out, and I've been up kind of early, so you just can't keep me from going to bed. That might be another thing. Do some exercise. Start shutting off the lights and the screens a little earlier. Give your eyes time to acclimate and start going into sleep mode. Winding down a bit. Maybe take a hot shower. I don't know. That's my advice. I'm not an expert on everything, but that would be my advice. Fasting combined with low carb, moderate protein, I have one meal a day eating pattern is working for me. I'm down 14 pounds less than a month. Okay, Mariposa. Intermittent fasting combined with a low carb, moderate protein, high healthy fat, and one meal a day eating pattern is working for me, and I'm down 14 pounds in less than a month. Well, good for you. That is kind of my. I mean, that's kind of my formula that you're following there. I just made sure to eat once a day, and I made sure to eat enough, you know, to, you know, not stuff myself, but I ate enough where I was full you know, I wanted to feel like I could carry myself over a day. So bravo, 14 pounds in a month is a huge month. I mean, I think that's a great start. I mean, I remember my monthly totals, you know, if I could get over 10, you know, in the beginning it was 10 plus pounds per month. That's huge. So good for you. Keep it up. Yes, a good omen for you, Doll. Doll, I started on my birthday. I think that means you're going to be a success. TALLhappyCOLORS. Thank you for the shout out. The talks on YouTube, Eckhart Tolle, also have a lovely sense of humor. For those who are familiar with his book, the talks are lovely. And I agree 100%. And thank you again for those references and actually many references that you provide. But that one in particular, I just want to keep going back once in a while. I just feel like listening to one of his lectures because actually the humor is fantastic. I mean, and sometimes he just sits there and he doesn't even talk. I like people that are like sometimes just okay to be quiet. He doesn't say anything. He'll sit down in front of a big audience and he just kind of looks around for a minute or so. He's just kind of being present, and I love that. So anyway, and one of these days I've got to also read his book. Anyway, thanks, TALLhappyCOLORS. Uh, cod liver, yeah, good advice. Cod liver oil, maybe for insomnia. Uh, I'm still live. Thanks. Okay, connection. All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it looks like it's green now, so I don't know. I'm just going to keep talking, and if you can't hear me, tough toenails. Susan Solomon, I see you. The image was a bit choppy for a few minutes. Yeah, it dropped out for a little bit there, but it popped back in. I think I need a new. My computer, I think, is like 10 years old. The one I'm doing this work on, so I think I need a. I think I need a little upgrade here. Great stream from Nova Scotia. Thanks again, Lloyd. Uh, Ron Swanson quote. Was that me or I don't know. Ron Swanson. He's the guy on that show. Was it Community? I forget the name of it. I know you're talking about the guy. He was a meat eater. So maybe I might have dropped some of his quotes, but yes, an engineer. I don't know if you're talking to me, Tolle, but TALLhappyCOLORS. South Africa is already an hour later than in Germany. Yeah, so in fact, yeah, you're right. You know, last time she commented on the final video once it was posted and said she was sorry she missed it. And it's, I mean, I'd love to make it. I don't know what to do with the time of these. I mean, I kind of make it convenient for me, and the majority of my audience is frankly in North America, but I try to make it early enough so that if there's anybody that wants to has the interest and is in on the other side of the ocean, as they say, can tune in. But yeah, it is a stretch. I'd be hard pressed to stay up that late, and I appreciate that you're doing that. Yeah, Bruce, I agree with you, and that's been the reason I started my channel, and I was so frustrated and not frustrated, but I was really kind of PO'd once I finally, the lights went on and I came to realization that, hey, there are ways to take the weight off. Why did I live all those years? Exactly. The knowledge was not available. And it was certainly the knowledge maybe was available, but it was covered up. And there's other agendas that kind of made sure it was covered up. And I always hesitate to sound conspiratorial, but I think there's a lot of money to be made by having overweight, sick people that you can sell pills and medical procedures and different. I don't know. The food is cheap. The fattening food is really cheap and makes a good profit for food companies. Anyway, I don't want to go down that because I'll start sounding real pessimistic. Let's see, what do we got down? I turn off the devices. Bragging 15 minutes to fall asleep. Yeah, no, I am sort of bragging, but I like that. I can fall asleep in 15 minutes if I want to. Not 100% of the time. There are days when it's tough, but like I said, it's usually when I had a late coffee. Slightly vegan, nice idea. We need a non-displaying scale that records and offers trend-only plot. Not a bad idea. You might have a product there you can offer. I know there's people, and it seems like I don't think it should be different for men or women, but it seems like I hear a lot of women that don't want to weigh because this is what I hear mostly from women. It can be depressing. I don't want to weigh, but really it shouldn't be depressing. We all know it goes up and it goes down. If you wait a while to weigh, okay, a week, a month, a year, okay, you can gauge it by other, things, your waist size or your clothes. Maybe you don't need to weigh at all if you've got it under control. But hey, I'm a fan of having the data, and you know why I do it. I made a commitment to myself that I was always going to weigh because for all those years that I was overweight, I did not want to weigh. I was afraid of weighing. I did not want to know the truth. And I lived a delusion. And once I started going on the right path, I said, never again. I'm going to face face it, whatever it is, and own up to it. And if I drift off, if I have a bad day, I'm going to know about it the next day so that I can correct it. I don't want to wait until I feel comfortable weighing again. I want to know the next day. And anyway, I'll stop beating that drum. Oh, will the carnivore oil break my fast? I don't know about that. But I wouldn't worry too much on that. Probably not. I'm not so worried about breaking the fast. Just do the best you can on the fasting and do what you need to do to get you through. That's my philosophy. Say, hey, Christine, hi. Hello, Christine Balkasoon, hi. Hello to you. And yeah, let us know where you're from if you're so inclined. Bruce, thanks for your channel. I just like OMAD, lost 26 kilograms in 3 months. Goal is another 20 in next 3. We will see. Your inspiration helps. Thanks. Again, it tells me it's not receiving a signal, but I'm just going to keep talking. You know, Bruce, that kind of comment it just makes my day when I hear something like that, that I inspired somebody, took action, and lost that amount of 26 kilograms in 3 months. So you're doing a lot of things right. Congratulations, sir, and with hitting your goals. And just, I don't know, it blows me away that maybe I inspire somebody. I never thought I'd see the day where I'm out inspiring people to lose weight, because I thought as recently as less than 3 years ago, I thought it was completely impossible for me to give any advice on weight, and I thought I could never lose weight. I thought I was a goner, you know. So anyway, I love it. Thank you. Excluding the blue light by wearing orange glasses in the evening can also help with the circadian rhythm and the mellow down to get sleep against insomnia. Yeah, this is what I'm hearing a lot now, and that's why I mentioned the other day that I want to learn more about the effect of light, getting rid of these blue lights. And there are the special glasses. If you want to check into the person asking about insomnia, getting away from the blue lights and wearing special glasses is supposedly the path to it. Thank you, TALLhappyCOLORS. Yeah, in the beginning you are high, Gabriel. In fact, I had a high feeling a lot while I was fasting. Weighing every morning keeps me accountable about not eating too late in the day because it will show up on the scale. Eating my OMAD no later than midday helps me to burn off glucose. Hey, you know, I say find the rhythms. I don't get too hung up about the time of day for the meal. For me, I know that good time of day for me is like in the evening, like 6 p.m. But it doesn't have to be 6. I don't think there's any special magic. I've seen scientific studies that say eating in the morning is better. But I think it's like just marginally better. It's just like maybe a small metabolic advantage. What to me matters way more than that is what you can do consistently, what fits in with your lifestyle. This is the big thing that matters. So whether it's morning, it's noon, it's evening, do your one meal, feel good, feel consistent, and be consistent. And that's the big thing. So thanks, Mariposa, for that comment. Connection great in Massachusetts. I like that. Any tips for someone trying to lose the last few kilos? Would love to lose just 1 kilo. 1 kilo. You know, I don't feel any kind of expert on the last kilo, but this is a common question. You only need to lose 1 kilo? First of all, congratulations, because that is not a lot. Maybe you're not such a large person to begin with, so that's good. But, you know, when you're down to that level, maybe just a couple suggestions are always, if you're kind of stalled and need to lose that last, are to do tracking your food and finding out if you don't weigh and track your food, maybe you want to explore that and see, are you overeating certain things? Are you eating too much fat or too much calories? You know, kind of have a plan and see if you're on it or not. And then the thing for me on the tail end of my journey was always to, I was into the fasted exercise, the fasted running, you know, because I felt that leaned me out. You know, it just heightened my fat burning by, I don't know if you fast or not, slightly vegan, but you might try, if I don't know if you eat once a day or not, you might try just going in that direction if you're not, or exercising while fasted. I found that kind of leaned me out. But the last kilogram, you're just going to have to push that over the edge, but that's not a lot, you know. I mean, so good luck with that. Hard for me to give a tip on that one. I think I still would like to lose 1 kilogram, but you know, it's because there's certain areas that have at least, well, I got more than a couple kilograms, but I'm pretty happy. Christine, maybe when I hit a plateau from IF, I will do OMAD. Try it. Yeah, I would. For me, the fasting, extending that fasting window is the key for breaking a plateau. So I would definitely go there. Or if you don't want to do OMAD, maybe just work in a little bit of fasting, maybe alternate day fasting for a week, or dropping 1 day a week of eating, you know, work in a little bit of fasting. And for me, that broke plateaus when I was on my process. So Bruce, 9:30 in Brisbane, but I watch live cast later. Often I can. Bruce, are you saying you're in Australia? Brisbane. I mean, the only Brisbane I know is in Australia. But that's awesome. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. So you're you're getting this in the morning. Yeah. Someday I want to travel there because I see it's really hot. You know, it's got some hot summers, and I'm inclined to travel to hot climates, but the one time I checked into it, that flight was quite expensive. Anyway, fattening food is really cheap unless you shop at Trader Joe's. Yeah, well, fattening food is general. It's cheap food. It's peasant food. A lot of this food, I mean, it's cheap to make and produce mass quantities of it, and they make it palatable, so it's hard to resist. But Bruce, I was a nurse for 30 years. How do you think I feel having given what I feel was bad advice through 70s, 80s, and 90s? Completely wrong advice. Well, move on. That's all you can say, Bruce. And yeah, I could feel for you. You know, I was getting my hair cut recently, and the person cutting my hair was a young girl, you know, in nursing school. And I mentioned that I was going to film a video later that day, and she asked what about. So I started telling her, yeah, I got this channel, and I talk about weight loss and nutrition, and I lost a lot of weight. I showed her my before after pic, and she was blown away. And then she asked me how I did it, and I started telling her, you know, with the diet and with the fasting, and now I'm a carnivore, and she was just like, that kind of stressed her out. She was like, oh, well, we were taught this, and we were taught to eat. It's good to snack and eat often. I said, yeah, I know what you were taught. And I'm here to say, forget what you were taught. I was a little bit abrupt not abrupt, but I was just telling her, I lost the weight by not following anything that we were taught. And she got more quiet after that. I didn't think she cared for me disagreeing with her professors or her textbooks, but I'm sorry, that's the way it is. We were taught wrong. Pauline, I think you're quite an inspiration. Thank you, Pauline. Working on getting to OMAD, but losing on 2 meals. First at noon, very light, and then a decent dinner. That is great. You know, you don't necessarily have to go straight to OMAD. It depends on your situation, how much weight you have to lose, and what works for you. I'll tell people, go in that direction. go in the direction of having fewer meals and having a longer period of fasting. And for me, it's natural just to, when you wake up in the morning, just keep extending that fast. If noon works, great. So I'm glad that's working for you, and it's nice that somebody was inspired. I love that. Oh, Spive, it's good to track your measurement. I do that too. In fact, I got a number of things I track. I got this body composition scale, not only weight, but it tells me BMI, fat percentage, and what else does it tell me? Skeletal muscle mass, and a few other things. But I also do monthly. I do measurements. Every time a new month turns over, I do waist and hips, and I do blood pressure. A few. What else do I do? That's about it. I just track that. That kind of stuff isn't changing for me too much anymore. But again, I'm just trying to reinforce that it's a habit, and I'm always going to track it. I figure if I do that, okay, I'm never going back to the old days, and I already know that. But I've just trained myself to, there's no chance I'm going back because I don't like that food anymore, and I got all these trackings that I'm doing. It's just natural for me now. But anyway. That's why I recommend it. It's good to track. And Scotty, I do that too. I weigh every day, and I have a 7-day average. And when I want to kind of see what things are going, I look at the 7-day average, and I'd recommend that. It filters out some of the noise, the daily, because I'll tell you what, the fluctuation. My weight doesn't fluctuate that much anymore, but recently, a couple weeks ago, I had this package of. It was called. Pork sausage. It was a type of pork breakfast sausage that I get. Actually, it was something that I bought at my favorite Hasselmann Farms. And normally, I take the casings off of those, but these were kind of small sausages, and the casing was small, and I couldn't get it off. So the first day, after nitpicking with the casings, the next day, I cooked them in the air fryer with the casings, and figured, oh, the casing's not going to hurt me. I used to eat everything with the casing. But you know what happened? And I never expected this, but the first day I had like 3 days worth of this pork. It took me like 3 days to eat the package. The first day I ate with the casings on, like my weight went up like the next day, like 2 pounds. And I was extremely thirsty that night. Like I couldn't get enough to drink. And I thought, what in the world is that about? That comes out of the blue. Like I pay attention to my body and weight and everything, and I was way more thirsty, and weight shot up 2 pounds. That just never happens overnight. I wasn't worried about it because I figured it was either the filler in that sausage, or the casing. It's something to do with that sausage. But I'm leaning towards the casing because the first day when I took the casings off, it didn't go up, and then the next day. I ate the rest of the package with the casings, and again it went up like 1.2 pounds. In 2 days, I went up 3 pounds, and I said, "Come on." Anyway, and then when I was done with the sausage, and went back to to a non-sausage diet with my regular meals. Okay, it went it dropped down 3 pounds just like that to the normal range. In fact, as I recall. Over the next 5 days, I dropped down a little under the normal. So anyway, little things can fluctuate it, and I found even the casing. It must be whatever they make it out of. It must have just absorbed a lot of water and made me really thirsty, like a sponge. It was like eating a sponge. Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, awesome! I like having an international presence. International Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, that's still sort of in our hemisphere even, but thanks, Christine, for that. Appreciate it. What else we got? Oh, absolute inspiration. Appreciate that. Do you worry about enlarged prostate by eating only meat, eggs? Somebody else asked me that. Maybe it was you. Somebody asked me this question again recently. I think in my comments. But no, I don't. And where does that come from? I've never, in fact, when I got that question, The question is, do I worry about enlarged prostate by eating only meat, eggs, etc.? Everything I could find, there was nothing I could find on prostate related to diet at all. It seems to be what they talk about is mainly to do with age. Uh, it's just kind of a function of aging. But no, I don't worry about it, and I don't think there's really anything supporting that fear at all. So I don't worry about it. Uh, because you don't want to believe you're being lied to. But no, that's for sure. Um, what else we got? Lloyd, I lost 46 pounds in 6 weeks, 100 more to go. Thanks, Jim, for all your video help. Again, Lloyd, I mean, these kind of stories, I love it. I really love it. If I didn't think I was helping somebody, I would not be doing these chants or making a video because it's really not my natural thing to do. But when I see something like that, it just makes my day. I weigh every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, whenever. Ryan Richards, I only eat a 20-minute eating window for the day. And my window, okay, I'm not quite that short. I try to, because I love my meal so much, I try to stretch it out for more than 20 minutes. But I would say from the time I put the first bite in my mouth until the time that I'm done is no more than 40 minutes. I mean, I can't stretch it out more than that because and the thing is, once I put that first bite in, there's no stopping. Like I can't be interrupted. I can't be distracted. I mean, I'm really in carnivore eating mode and I have to finish it. Like there's no, that once that switch is turned on, don't bother me, just stand back and leave me alone. LinFam Travels. Learning about OMAD helped me to not feel guilty about not eating for long periods. I didn't know it was okay because I heard it slows metabolism and stores more fat. So sometimes I force eat it. Yeah, it's just not true, LenaFam. Yeah, there's a lot of disinformation, a lot of misinformation, a lot of bad information. It actually keeps your metabolism just fine. Exercising in a fasted state is a key for sure. I power walk every morning when I'm normally fasted for at least 14 hours. That's what I'm talking about. Going into your fasted state deeper and deeper, and then doing your exercise. Man, you'll feel powerful. I mean, there's nothing like it. And again, this week, normally I would be exercising right about now, but when this chat is over, I'm going to head out and do my normal workout and have a good sweat for an hour or so. In fact, I'll probably do an hour. Normally I do 45 minutes or so, but I'll make another little announcement. Tomorrow morning I'm heading out to Boulder, Colorado for the Carnivore first carnivore conference put on by Amber O'Hearn. So I'm looking forward to that. That starts Thursday. And then shooting right over across town to Denver for the Low Carb Denver conference, which is a 3-day event. And both the Carnivore conference and the Low Carb conference looks like they had to move the venues on both of them to larger establishments, to larger theaters in order to accommodate the people. There was a huge demand. It's got pretty much anybody who's everybody speaking there. So I'm out there for that. I want to rub shoulders with some carnivores and have something in common. Sit down and eat with people that I have something in common with, which is very rare. Normally, if I'm sitting down eating with other people, we spend 90% of the time talking about why I eat the way I do, and I don't mind talking about it, but it would be nice to be around people where I don't have to explain all that. Anyway, yeah, so I'm off. I'm going to exercise tonight, and I'm going to eat. I'm already packed, and get some sleep and head out in the morning. The whole world is here. Yeah, I love that. I love that. We got an international audience going. You know, Carla, it does work. In a fasted state, it does work. I I'm a firm believer in it. It got me to the next level. I mean, I lost a lot of weight with no exercise, and then I started exercising, and then I started focusing on fasted exercises, and that got me to the finish line. That got me, let's say, the last like 20% of the way, and I think it really pushed me into another level of success when I started the fasted exercise. I mean, you just feel it. You feel like you're. I tell people now I feel like Superman. I mean, I do. I feel strong. I feel vital. I feel. I mean, there's nothing I can't do. You know. So anyway, I would say give it a try. Gabe Prador, goodbye. Thanks for being here and for your comments. Carla, I forgot to say I listened to you for inspiration. I appreciate that. Ryan, I did all meat for a stretch, but that had significant skin problem. You had significant skin problems from the meat. Dry, scaly, cracking spots resolved after incorporated veggies. Wow. You know, it's normally from all carnivores report just the opposite. Like the skin, getting rid of the veggies is the solution for the skin. So I don't know. That's strange, but you know, you can't you can't fight what works or what's successful. I mean, if it works for you, I have some. I mean, certainly there's nothing. If a veggie's cleared up your skin, you know, go with it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating them. Uh, Carnivore side effects. Right? Side effects, yeah. I feel strong. I feel good. I feel powerful. I feel in tune with nature. I feel balanced. I have good, even energy. I'm calmer. I think more clearly. I mean, the side effects are just like I'm a different person now. And I'm being totally honest. I've said this over and over. I feel just like a different person. Uh, Ryan Richards, thinning hair with the carnivore? Yeah, well, uh, yeah, I don't know about that. To me, the hair and skin were positives, but anyway. Uh, MC or Mick Mick, hi, my friend Ryan Parker is very overweight and he said he can lose weight by having loads of sex. You know, that would work, probably. Thanks for that. I don't know if this is a serious comment or not, but we'll watch that. Loads of sex cures a lot of things, but then sex is short lived and then you have to go back to eating and whatnot. So, Scotty, I eat seafood 3 days a week along with avocado, eggs, meat. I'm losing close to 4 to 5 pounds a week. That you got a great formula. Nothing wrong with all that stuff. You're eating good fats and good protein and seafood. You've got that's a winning combination. I'm not so high in seafood. I try at different times to incorporate more of it, but unsuccessfully. I gravitate more towards the ruminant style. But 4 to 5 pounds a week, holy smokes, that's awesome. Christine, you're a strong, willpowered person. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I appreciate that. I never felt it, and I'm, not sure that it's true, but a lot of people tell me that. But it wasn't willpower that got me through this, but just breaking old habits. Now, I don't know. We hit the hour mark, and this, again, I see some blinking lights on the screen, the screen, the streaming signal. So I don't know. Probably should start winding this up now, because last time it seems like once we hit the hour point, it started dropping a lot. So let's see. Avocados, yeah, I don't. I dabble with avocados once in a while. I'm off them now. I don't have them anymore, but I don't see anything wrong with it. But I wouldn't call it a defeat. 4 mile in the morning, man, that is great for your health. and it's great for your mental health. 4 miles fasted in the morning, man, you got a clear mind. That's great. No, I'm not going to move to Denver, Ryan. Don't worry about it. I will be heading back here, unfortunately. Uh, the next time I do move, it's going to be there's going to be a lot warmer climate involved, and I work on that a lot. I'm trying to figure that out as we speak. Talked about the conference in your interview. It's finally here. Excited for you. Yeah, thanks, Carla. It's normally it's a chance. Sometimes even people recognize me or they ask questions, and it's stimulating. It's stimulating, but I'm going mainly to learn. I go to learn because I always learn something, and also if I can inspire people also with my story, but there's also just to mingle with carnivores. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Thanks. I will have a great trip. Let's see. I do a couple more. If there's a few more questions, I'll take them, and then we'll probably call it a night. Let's see. Christine, I break my fast with a banana. It's like my body got accustomed to healthy foods. I made a mistake today and broke my fast with KFC. No, 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 no. Don't. When breaking a fast, be careful. Be good to your stomach. KFC, that stuff. Ah. TALLhappy, wishing you safe travels and a wonderful meetup. Thank you. I'm hoping there'll be some meetups that we can have out there. I'm hoping even tomorrow night, I'm hoping there'll be some people communicating, and there'll be a spot in Boulder there where there's going to be a meetup. I figure maybe pretty much any carnivore place or any meat place is going to be some meat people in there. So just walk in and look around. Do I? Yeah, I eat. Excuse me. I exercise before I eat. Right before I eat, at the end of my fast. Absolutely. So when I exercise, like when I cut off here, I'm going to be exercising. It's basically been 23, 24 hours since I ate. And that is, for me, it's nothing better. Because when I get out there, I'm going to run hard, I'm going to be totally sweating, and I'm going to feel full of energy and totally exhausted, and I'm going to shower and then start eating, and it's just an affirmation of my healthy life, and I can't do anything different now. It's going so well. So I guess if I sound inspirational, it's because everything is working for me, and I enjoy it. So that's what it is. I'm telling the truth, folks. Not doing OMED. Be a lot of OMED, no. You're welcome, Susan. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're kind of winding down here, and we've reached we're a little bit over an hour, so I'm gonna sign it off, folks. Continue on if you want. I didn't mention earlier. I mentioned the TALLhappyCOLORS site channel, and I also mentioned Eckhart Tolle. I'm going to put some links in it in this broadcast when it's posted later on, so you can find that stuff if you want to reference that. But so for now, I will just sign it off by saying thank you, everybody. Again, this was my second chat. I was nervous when it started. I thought maybe there's going to be nobody there this time, and it'd be quite boring, and I'll have to fill the time to reach an hour, and here I am. I'm over an hour and still babbling. So it's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It's invigorating for me to do it, and we'll see you on down the road. I'll make some videos or have another chat, and maybe I'll have something to report from these conferences, something to share with you all. Okay, thanks again, everybody, and have a good evening. Bye now.